Hey there, wet side gardener. If you have tomato and pepper starts, you have been babying under lights since February. This is the week we finally start moving them toward the door. We are looking at a beautiful dry stretch in the forecast, but if you rush these plants into the ground today, you might actually set your harvest back by 3 weeks. Most of us west of the Cascades are eyeing that Mother's Day weekend for our big summer set-out, and that means we are officially in the hardening off window. It is a bit of a chore, carrying trays back and forth, but it is basically cheap insurance for your plants. Right now, your seedlings have these thin, delicate leaves because they have lived in a perfect indoor world with no wind and steady light. If they go straight into the garden, that mid-May sun will bleach the leaves white in about 2 hours. It is called sun scald, and while the plant might live, it has to spend all its energy regrowing leaves instead of getting tall. Today, May 5th, we're looking at a high of 68 degrees, which is actually a pretty gentle start for our climate. Since we have 0 rain in the forecast for the next 8 days, we have a perfect opportunity to get this done without our usual spring downpours snapping any stems. For day 1, just give them an hour or 2 in dappled shade or behind a windbreak. Our moraine layer actually helps us out here. If it stays gray and cloudy, you can be a little more relaxed. But the moment that sun breaks through, those indoor leaves are at risk. By days 2 and 3, you can leave them out longer in the shade. By day 4 or 5, they can handle some morning sun, which is way gentler than that late afternoon heat. One thing you will notice immediately is how fast they dry out, even on a mild 68-degree day. The moving air pulls moisture out of those small pots way faster than your living room did. Check the soil daily, because a dry pot in the wind is a recipe for a bad time. We also need to watch the overnight lows. The coldest night coming up is 45 degrees on May 9th. That is a bit too chilly for peppers and tomatoes to stay out all night, so make sure you bring those trays back inside that evening. Once we get to May 11th, the forecast is calling for 74 degrees. That is going to be the peak high of this window, and it is the perfect time for the final stage of hardening off, where they stay in full sun for several hours. By then, the plants are building up lignin in their stems and thickening their waxy leaf coatings. It is also a good idea to sprinkle a little iron phosphate bait around your hardening station. The slugs in the Puget Sound and Willamette Valley areas are very active right now, and they would love nothing more than a tray of tender starts sitting at ground level on your patio. It is just a thing to watch for. If you see any white patches on the leaves, just back off a step and give them more shade for a day. Plants are pretty forgiving, and a little bit of stress now actually makes them tougher for the rest of the season. Once they finish this 10-day stretch, they will be ready for the real world. Taking this week to toughen up your starts is the best way to make sure they hit the ground running once the soil finally warms up. Thanks for watching, and I really appreciate you spending a few minutes of your gardening week with the channel. Everything we talk about here is shaped by what you all are curious about. So let me know in the comments if you have a favorite early tomato variety that actually ripens in our cool summers. The garden moves fast this time of year, so consider subscribing if you want to keep up with the daily timing. Thanks again.